Okay. So, hello everyone, thank you for coming. It's Monday, April 16th, and we have the Festival of Chimes and Lights committee members here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves for the record?
I'm Laura Lyles, volunteer.
Very nice. I'm Bobby Stewart. I think I represent POPSA, the Art Museum, and the Chamber of Commerce.
Wow. Now this is what we call
shows up.
a community volunteer extraordinaire, which is why we need some more help down here. Thank you very much.
Janine, Deputy City Clerk with the city.
And I'm Cindy Lagrella, and I'm a city council person here too. So we're getting started with the 2018 theme. And really, it was Bobby's suggestion, and I think a good one. And now we'll just make it set in stone. Oh, Christmas tree.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I like
Oh,
that.
Christmas tree. And with it being the 20th anniversary, we'll see if we can do something even more spectacular with our tree. And just keep playing up the whole trees thing. And Bobby, you had a suggestion with a contest of trees being decorated.
I know.
You know, and even if it's more than shopkeepers, because some of the buildings don't have shops in them, perhaps we could have service clubs also
Right.
decorate a tree, which would be kind of fun.
Right.
So,
Would we have a certain size, right? Or
how?
what do
Let's
you
talk
think?
about that. Do you think
Because
we
it
should make them uniform somehow?
I
So it
think
looks
so.
a little bit more tied together. Otherwise, we may have a silver metal tree with an old-fashioned.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking more of the evergreen.
Right. I am too.
Because this is
Yeah.
kind of an old-timey town, and this is the 20th year.
And we're working with lights, so you would like some lights
As
on
many
them.
lights as we can get.
Yeah.
So I think our little contest will be, so we want to have a base that we start with. Now, what do you think? Do you think we should try to provide those and have everyone just pay for the tree? Or everyone go out and get their own?
It'd be more uniform.
If we could just all get a bunch,
get
couldn't we?
a bunch of small trees, maybe.
How many planters do we have down there?
Well, Kathleen said 62, but I
What?
think we have less than that.
I can't believe
No,
62
I can't
planters.
either. I was trying to think how
Maybe
many
we had
have.
62 baskets or
Maybe
something.
between the two,
But-
baskets but it seems like about 35 to me.
35
Yeah.
planters?
Yeah, I could count them and get back to you
Let's
on
do that. Let's
Yeah.
find out how many we have.
Yeah.
And I know we don't have the budget to just outright buy them. So,
But I could go ask the merchants, if we provided
if we bought them, or if we
trees
went
and-
someplace and say we got 35 trees that
and
were
then
as
they could
uniform as
pay us
possible.
back.
Yeah,
I think they would.
and try to get a good deal someplace
Yeah.
at a tree farm.
I think they would. Do we want live trees or?
Live, I think
Live
live trees. Everybody chime in.
Live trees.
You know, just because I'm saying a lot, please.
Well, the planters will be empty because, we empty them, we clean them out and get them ready for winter, so they would be empty. You
Now,
can plant a tree.
We're going to probably need some logistics on it too. How do we anchor them in there so they don't get blown over?
And I had after the last meeting, I had emailed Nick with Community Development and Mark with Public Works just to see if they had any thoughts on this.
Yeah.
And, sorry,
might
I
be
printed
some.
out. So Mark replied that they used to have trees in them before, so he didn't have too many concerns.
Okay.
Nick had mentioned it may require a street use permit, but it depends whether this is a city event or private, which it would be a city event.
Yes.
And so he said he's mostly concerned about how the trees are secured to avoid having one fall on someone or
Yeah.
blow out into the road.
Yeah, I
So that's
hear
their
ya.
main concern.
Well, we're not
is
going
how
to
to keep
have
them in there.
5-foot trees, right? It's not going to be that tall. Just
Well,
small trees.
they can't be so small that those planters overwhelm them either.
Right.
So what we may have to do, so the planters, Bobby,
That's about
3 feet high,
yeah.
and they're
about
pretty round.
pretty
They're
round.
big, yeah.
I know. Okay, so what we'll have to do is get dimensions of the planters, how
Mhm.
many,
Mhm.
and we're going to have to probably do a little bit of exploring on this and design to see
Right.
what can we actually put in there that looks decent.
Right.
If we put too small of a tree, it's going to look silly.
Yeah. But if we get too big,
It's a
it'll fall
problem.
over.
So-
Or in the street or whatever.
Well,
You
if
know-
they're 3 feet deep and you provide a strong base, it's gonna cover the first 3 feet if it's a 5.
Right.
Well, it wouldn't have-
Well, I'm kind of thinking, are they all full of dirt?
Mhm.
Okay, so what we do is we get a tree, and I'm picturing something like a big stake that gets basically pounded into the tree trunk and is long on the end. So when the tree goes in, it's going in with a stake that goes down into the planter quite a ways to help
Good
anchor
idea.
it. Do you know something along the lines like
To
that?
secure it.
Which Public Works can help us with. But you know, you kind of see what I'm saying? Something that either attaches around the trunk, or I'm thinking a stake, because the stake pounded in could really anchor it, or both, where you have something wrapped around something that comes through, so that we have a guarantee that it stays in the pot. Because
Maybe Public Works could help us with that.
I can definitely ask.
Yeah.
I can definitely bring it
Bill?
up to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill made it, okay, so the dimensions of it and how number of pots, and then the logistics of the committee, getting trees reserved someplace, and then getting sponsors. What we'll have to do is call it sponsors then. And Janine, maybe what you could find out are the legalities of our being involved in something like this.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you
definitely.
find out if it's, what can the city do easily and not? Or
Yeah.
are we gonna have to have it come through the service clubs? But
Okay.
we'll be as involved as we can be, you know, but it is a city event,
Mm-hmm.
and we are partnering with the nonprofits downtown to put on this tree decorating contest. Let's see if we can get a lot of media involvement. I would think that we could do that.
I
The
think so.
newspaper would think it was fun.
Sure. I think it sounds great.
Yeah, it's neat. So, and you know, like a bank could do a tree, and
Right.
Chamber
Chamber would do one, Bay Street would do one. I mean, we have enough organizations that we should. And then there's a lot of new merchants now.
There
They might
are a lot.
be able to, I mean, Josephine, I know Samantha would do one, and
Right. So we'll have to do our homework to be able to even create the mini event within the event, which is a tree decorating contest. And I'm wondering if we could have some kind of cool prize and judges. That would be fun, too.
We have done that. We could do that, and
Instead of
the window, of which
POPSA.
they never pay anything attention to anyway. I mean, we have about 5 people do windows, so maybe the trees will be they'll all do their windows anyway.
Right. And
they do
Fred's,
that.
the bicycle shop will have some decorating done.
That's true.
Yes.
Other than his bicycle and his window that looks ugly.
Well, I like this. I like this because it seems like it would get people involved somehow.
And it's different.
Mhm.
And this is something we want to do 25th, right?
No, 20th.
20th. We
It's our
wanna do
20th
it
anniversary.
Something different. It is different.
20th anniversary, and it is Christmas tree. And we are going to try to get these trees decorated. I was kind of hoping for something like at least 4 or 5 feet tall, but maybe that's a pipe dream.
I think we just need to try one
Yeah,
myself. We
yeah.
need to get a tree.
And see how it looks.
See how it looks. Even if it's an artificial tree to start, just
Right.
to see what we want before
Right.
we jump in and get 35 trees.
Oh yeah, no doubt on that one. We won't just get them. Yeah.
So, maybe I can just find a tree somewhere, either Michael's or,
Well, the potted trees, around Christmas time, we could have just nabbed one from the curb. But,
well, I meant right soon, so we know what we're dealing with.
right.
You know.
Do you have
That'd be-
any Christmas trees in a display in your shop?
That's what I was thinking. I have a big one upstairs, but it's
Way
like,
big?
Well, it's 6 foot.
You know what? We could maybe go to Goodwill or St. Finney's. I bet they might have trees around somewhere.
We have a tree, I think up on the 4th floor, that we used to put on the 2nd floor at the end of the hall with the prior city clerk. We had a tree that we decorated and we put bulbs on. I could see what the size of that one is.
That'd be good.
I
Okay.
can't remember, I don't remember how tall it is, but I can just double check it.
Yeah, let's-
'cause I think
let's-
we have
yeah.
a box for it.
If we
Okay.
can
So
just
I can-
find the,
Yeah.
what we want.
Right.
You know, give
Yeah.
it a try.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
would be
need
good.
some water?
No, it just had a tickle.
Okay. Because we can get you some.
No, fine,
There's a
thank you.
kitchen in back there.
I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I'm just stuck.
Well, okay,
Stable.
so that's what we'll do then is get the tree measured and
Right.
figure out the logistics of securing them.
Mhm.
And that will be part of the Public Works involvement. And again, I think if we do something along the line of stakes going in there, that's a pretty good distance down.
Mhm.
If we secure something to the
Mhm.
tree that goes down in and you have that much,
Mhm.
I bet it wouldn't fly away.
Right. Doesn't seem like it will.
No.
You don't want it to list either, if it's only tethered on one side.
Right, which may be, we may have to anchor it. Like maybe we're gonna have to do, if we have the tree, maybe something will have to go along the trunk here, a couple of cables or something that go down into the pot to anchor it to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But, you know, another thing we had talked about is power source for these things. They're gonna have to probably be battery operated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they would be.
Mm-hmm.
We have that power every 4, but then you are going to have something sticking up into the,
Right, and that's where I don't think that the city could.
well, and we have bicycle lights coming down anyway.
Right.
They use those power strips, so I know this, they won't allow us to.
do
So we
that.
just have to use batteries.
Okay. All right. Well, I like this. So we'll get the dimensions and we'll get the input of Public Works to
And
figure
I'll look
out.
at my tree upstairs too
Okay.
and see how tall it is.
All right.
And
And
I'll
maybe
look at
Jeannie
ours.
can, yeah. So that we can get one out there and just take a look
Give
at
it
it.
a, right.
Sounds good.
Fun. Very fun. Okay, so contest. So the contest will probably be then something that you'll kind of handle and will be involved loosely.
Sure, that's
you-
what we did with the, Popsa did with the decorating. We had a prize and
Right.
so on.
And Nick was thinking if it wasn't the city, that we'd have to get permits.
That I'm not sure. It was, he just says this could possibly require a street use permit, but it depends on whether this is a city event or private. But I know if it's a city event, just like a special event application, I don't think we would need a street use permit. But I could verify with him just to make sure. But he doesn't, I'm not sure which way that was going.
Okay.
But-
And you can just kind of give him an outline of what we're thinking.
Definitely, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I think we would be very concerned about safety.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
if we can keep that tree from going down, we can keep street trees from going down.
That's
I'm
true.
really
I
sure.
think we're good.
Bill
Yeah.
is very good at that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And then also finding out about the idea of the city basically reserving 35 or however many container trees, and then having groups sponsor them, and how that exchange would
Mhm.
work if the group would actually pay a tree farm, or if the group would pay the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can, because I don't know if that would fall under procurement.
Well, it wouldn't be
but
it wouldn't be expensive enough because
it falls under that threshold.
you will. Oh, yeah, it'll be under the
Yeah.
threshold because I can't imagine those trees being. Well, we're hoping for something like I'm thinking 25 to 35 max each. Wouldn't you say for a tree? Maybe 25 would be kind of ideal
Mhm.
if we got a deal on a 4 or 5 foot tree or whatever that is, so that we wouldn't get anywhere near the threshold. But I'm not sure how we would need to handle that, and we'd have to find that out with the city first and then adapt it
Yeah.
accordingly.
If they turn out that we don't have enough participating, would we want every other
Yeah.
pot? And then in the other pot, we could put some poinsettias or something. That's what I do in front of mine. I just get some poinsettias.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is too, we can decorate first the area that's more in the Chimes and Lights area too.
Mhm.
We don't have to take it quite so far out,
Mhm.
and every other would probably be just fine.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling we could find enough sponsors, especially if we got the newspaper to put this little thing
Right.
in, which we would do early. In fact,
Yeah.
sooner rather than later,
Really, yeah.
to let everybody know that it's coming.
Mhm.
You know, the Christmas in July kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I guess with the social media, Brandy had asked me to add this. So with our Facebook page now, we get a lot of information out there, so we can really push what we need to on through Facebook and then our website, and then we also have a distribution list that we can send information to.
Great.
So we definitely have some really good avenues. if
Because we
wanna
could
get
even
it
open
out
that
there.
for neighborhoods, if the groups wanted to come together,
Sure,
or anything,
Yeah.
you know?
sure.
Okay.
Great
Yeah, that'd be really
possibility.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that all ties into marketing and advertising, and I know Janine and Brandy met with Zach from Port Orchard Independent Sound Publishing. I haven't talked to Zach yet, and what you all talked about, I believe, is kind of following pretty closely what was done last year, right?
Yes. Yep.
And Zach is the marketing person, right?
Yes. He's our marketing contact.
Yeah, I'll be working with our graphics department to work on what goes into the ads and things, including copy, which a lot of time we use similar copy. We'll update it quite a bit for the 20th anniversary, and I've also talked to Ed Apple about doing something different or building on what's been done, you know, using the Christmas tree and such. We have used something like this for a lot of years. This goes all the way back to 2011. This blue with the tree is kind of the trademark of the event. And, you know, each year it's just been somewhat updated, but a lot of times it looks almost the same.
Mhm.
So we'll hear from them. They're brainstorming about what they could do a little bit different to mark the 20th anniversary. But the deadline for this particular one is the 20th. So that's really soon. I have to get Zach's contact information, and Brandy's all gone all next week, or this week,
This
right?
week, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the deadline is this week.
Yes.
And if you could get me a copy, please, of whatever you guys talked about and deadlines and dimensions and stuff like that, then I will follow through too. So
Okay.
what Brandy and I talked about is she feels her responsibility is the procurement process and the budget stuff to keep us from going over the threshold. And I will work with the graphics and work committee-wise. We'll work on content and that kind of thing, so we can keep on top of that.
Do you have Zach's number? I have all of that if you need it.
I believe I do, and if I don't, then Brandy should enter her contacts, which I do have
He's
access
bugging
to.
me every day with the Discover.
Oh,
I have-
are you putting one in for
I am
Discover?
not.
Oh, you're not.
No.
Okay.
But Pops is, so.
Right. And when you talked, they're doing a section on Port Orchard as well, right? Did he mention that?
They did last year.
I think so, yeah.
They have
I
done it
believe
every
so.
year. We've tried to help steer that so that we can get in there, you know, something that doesn't cross over. Sometimes these marketing people don't know which community does what.
Yeah,
So
I know.
yeah, we're hearing about things and going, wait a minute,
I know.
that's our neighbor over there, and they get plenty of publicity as it is, right?
Bainbridge got the whole
Oh, I
inside.
know.
Oh, well, we won't mention that.
Right. So, okay, but we're moving along well on that. And I will double check with him. We may not even be able to get too much done on this, but I'll make sure that I talk to him too about that deadline and what he's doing with this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Garland update?
So it's been, I should say, ordered, so it's actually gonna arrive probably about July or August. And Bill has already cleared out a space in the shed area. I think it's the south shed for the garland, so now we're just waiting on it to come.
Oh,
So it should be
good.
here within the next couple months.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So see, we'll have our trees and the new
It
garland.
must be beautiful.
Some really
Are we gonna
nice
be
garlands.
spiffy?
Very nice garland and
Okay,
new
cool.
bows and.
Oh, yeah.
How
Yeah.
nice.
I know, you know what, I don't think I printed out the budget. Randy sent it though, a copy of that. Do you have a copy with you by chance?
I think I do. I have, it's the 2007, the biennial operating budget.
Okay.
And so I know for this, one of the things was a reminder that we did budget for the garland in the chimes and lights, but there is a little extra. And so that was going to be coming out of, I believe some of it might be coming out of chimes and lights, and then some of it might be coming out of the administrative budget just to catch up. But it wasn't that much over
No.
what was budgeted anyways, which was.
We had our
really
budget
nice.
authority changed on that. The finance committee approved an overage. In fact, they would have gone over quite a bit more.
Yeah.
We did pretty well with that.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Right, okay.
And that's really what I had for budget, but this is.
Okay. Let's print it out. You have the same amount to work with? You have $98,847. That sounds like a lot when you take out salaries, which is $49,000, $50,000 of it. And keep whittling that down. Oh, wait, and then there's benefits and then end. We actually have a pretty small budget.
Do we have a minus budget?
No, it's never minus.
No, it's
We
a plus,
always do,
okay.
yeah, we do well with it.
That's
Okay.
So we have, the tree cost will come out of, the fuel consumed, office and supplies. Operating probably, I don't know, miscellaneous. Okay,
Miscellaneous.
we'll be able to make it work.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Thanks.
All right. Social media, so you were talking about social media being Facebook.
Yep. Yeah, and it's a really good avenue. Like when we had the community service day on Saturday, and we get out there, we've had thousands of views, a lot of comments and shares, and so with that, with the Festival of Chimes and Lights, we can just really get the information out there. And then we have contacts at Port Orchard Independent or Sound Publishing, Kids App Sun, and schools, everything else. But yeah, we can definitely get the information on Facebook. And as often as you guys need, we can do brochures, we can do pictures, just
We'll have,
everything we can.
what we'll try to do too is get the information on the choirs, who's participating in the
Yeah.
entertainment. That's really fun to get out there. We've got photos. The PowerPoint presentation that I did,
Yes. Yeah.
there's a lot of pages in there of the groups.
Mhm.
Why don't we try to pull some of those pages to post on Facebook in a section just for the chimes and lights.
Okay. Yeah.
And let's get all of the entertainment there. So all the choirs, let's try to get those on, and the dance studio. Any group that's entertaining, let's get them up there. That's going to be fun for them, and what we'll let them know is that we're going to have them up there for everyone to look at, and we'll try to get that interest and get them to share, if we can get that information out to be shared. So
Sounds good.
good. Okay, utility billing brochure timeline. I know last year they gave a date and then it turned out that it wasn't quite right.
So we did reach out to utility billing, and so
Uh-huh.
what they said is Master's Touch needs time to print and process the document for the billings. We would need to have it to them no later than September 1st
Okay.
to be included in the October and November billing cycles.
Right, and this event this year is smack on December 1st.
December 1st, yeah.
So we don't have much grace. I mean, we really don't have any time in December. So everything is going to be earlier that we have to do.
Good.
Okay, so September 1st deadline on that.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, actually, we could probably get going on that pretty early.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Boy, isn't this year flying though? You guys, can you believe that we're halfway
No.
or more? You're just moving through
Yeah, I
April?
know. It's fast.
Crazy. Christmas tree sourcing. Bill had an idea on that. I don't know if he was thinking of going back to Jones Tree Farm.
Is this the one in Paulsbo?
I'm not sure. I'm
I-
not sure where Jones was located, but he
Okay.
had a thought on that. So he can probably get going on that whenever.
Mm-hmm.
He should probably find the tree and get that sourced. soon,
Yeah,
before we all get busy and then put a big old tag on it.
that's right.
I think that we used to have to pay $400 or $500 for that. I mean, so before we start
Yeah.
planning too much with our budget, if we can find out what that's gonna cost and get that earmarked so that we don't spend it on other things if we need it for that.
Okay, yep, definitely.
We do need the tree.
We have
We
to have
need
a
the tree,
really
yeah.
nice tree this year. Yes. And I did talk to Santa, Dennis and Santa Pat. Santa Pat was Pat Oster was the one who was our Santa this past year. And he brought along his wife, and I think her name was Maureen. I'm not sure of her name. She was Mrs. Santa, and they loved it and had a great time. And they asked to do it again, but I wanted to make sure Santa Dennis is the one who had found a substitute for us, you know. And so I called Dennis, and he said, quite truthfully, he wouldn't mind a break. He's been Santa a long time, and he was a wonderful Santa, and his wife used to participate. I don't know if you remember, but she then started to have just a few little things that kept her from being able to do it. So this year, we'll go back to our new Santa, Pat Oster and his wife, and I will get her name. It's a different name than his, you know, so I will get that so we can list both of their names, because I just said Mrs. Claus because I didn't know exactly. But they were really fun.
Were they? I didn't get to meet them.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, he has, boy, the costumes they have. Oh my goodness, so elaborate, beautiful costumes. He's just a very ample, amazing Santa. The kids love him, and he's the genuine deal, you know. So, and we've had the best Santas. Dennis, there's classes of Santas, and you know what? I never knew all this, right? But you have your Santa, but then you have your really good Santa, and our gentlemen fall in the really good Santa range.
Right from the North Pole.
You're straight, yeah. So what we are going to need, though, I do understand that they ran into some problems down at the waterfront with stuff. We had gotten a donation from St. Vincent for a chair, and one from Goodwill, and I think it did work very well. The chair is not suitable for a Santa. It was too small. So we really do need to talk about getting something where Santa can be comfortable and the kids can be comfortable and a good photo op. Janine, I know that someone after the fact said that Al Mahaney said, why hadn't we called him?
Yes, I
And
do
you know,
remember
I
that.
think
Yeah.
one of our committee members actually said, no, it's not available. I recall someone saying that. So he, though, said, oh, we could have used it. So let's see if we can get the Santa sleigh from Al, and if we need to fix it up.
Okay, yep.
And you know, Bill went out to get something from Al, so he knows where Al lives. Oh, and another thing is Al wanted to donate that sleigh back to the city. Originally, it was the city's. And then Al took it over because I don't know that we had a storage space. So we need to find out, is that coming back to us?
Mhm.
Do we have a storage space? What do we need to do to get that ready? And is it still adequate? Is it in good enough shape that we can have a Santa and Mrs. Claus or whatever we do down there? You know, I'm never down there. I'm always here when all that's going on. I have never really seen that in action to know what's needed, but you know, and others do.
I haven't been down there.
Al knows.
Yeah, Al, because I'm always trying to run
Yes,
Other
we're all tied
going
up.
our way.
Yeah, well, and then the pet parade,
Yeah,
and Woodside Animal Hospital's a sponsor again this year,
I
right?
know, yes.
So,
They were really organized. They were really good.
okay, and
Last
is
year.
Popsa working with Woodside to do that, or who's gonna work with Woodside?
Kathleen did last year.
Did she
and-
directly?
Yeah, and they were great. I was one of the judges.
Judges
But they were so organized. But I think Kathleen
made the contact?
made the contact.
Okay.
But I'll ask her.
Okay.
I'll ask her.
Yeah, that would work
But they
again.
wanted to do it again, so.
And Bobby, how involved were we with providing anything? Did the city have to provide tables or any of that?
No.
Who did that all? They brought that all
They
down?
brought that, and I think Cookie's Pets.
They provided all the prizes.
Prizes.
It was
and
amazing.
So,
Mhm.
but I'll ask Kathleen all about it.
Okay,
She'll
because
know.
that's gonna be something that we're gonna need to also advertise and,
Mhm.
you know, that we've got these sponsors. Woodside was a big one, and Cookies was a big one.
Mhm.
Kitsap Bank is our presenting sponsor, but we've got to make sure that we acknowledge our sponsors.
Right.
So sooner rather than later, we'll keep adding to our ads and things, our list of sponsors, and, you know, yeah, always thinking. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot.
I know.
We're not starting too soon for all that has to be
Yeah.
done, are we?
Yep. No.
Okay, so, and now, what can we do to plug Lori in better? What can Lori do here? What can we give her to do?
Well, you gave us homework last time we left because
Uh-huh.
you wanted light.
Yes.
Well, and then to kind of chime in with the Christmas tree, and I went online, and I don't know how this fits in because I've not been here over this season. I have no other clue.
Yes.
But I found this singer. He's a Christian rapper, and this song, it's just beautiful. The lyrics of it, and it ties into a community of helping people, and the melody of it is so nice. But I don't know how that chimes in. It just because you wanted something with light, and
Mhm.
but
So is this somebody local?
no, he's boy, that would be nice because I checked him out.
Uh-huh.
He is a rapper out of DC.
Oh, man, DC.
I put his song on there. I don't know how you do the songs.
Oh, we
with
do,
the chimes.
we do a chime from up in the bell tower, and we have these old timey cassettes that we work with, and so we have just a list of the few things that can come up, that can be played. Actually,
Oh.
it's about I don't know, 20 songs or so,
Yeah.
and I think one of them is "Oh Christmas Tree."
Oh,
Now,
okay.
what happens is we have entertainment going for about 2 hours, really,
Right.
prior to the lighting of the tree. And right out here in front of City Hall, there's kind of a stage, and the choirs come and perform, and then the groups form out and watch them, and then they come and go. And the dancers perform right in their studio, right down here on the corner of Fredericks. And then Kathleen has some entertainment going on at the library. So kind of, it's spread out through the city,
Mhm.
but a lot of it is right here on the main stage. Then what we've had in the past is the Kitsap Community Chorale, and that's about a 50-member choir.
Mhm.
Usually it's near the end, because sometimes we have time for a little sing-along in between. We kind of start our show, our main show here, at about 5:30. 5, with the tree lighting now taking place at 5:30. We changed the time on that. So we have about a half an hour, and we present the winners of the pet parade.
Mhm.
And there's an honorary tree lighter that gets introduced.
Mhm.
We have sing-along time sometimes. And the royalty comes from the Fathoms Parade, and they're out there. It's kind of a mishmash of small town wonder stuff, you know?
So during the honorary tree lighting, I mean, I wanted to kind of your idea of keeping it lights.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube video on this, it brings up the lights. I mean, it shows them, and I didn't know if you had a screen in one of the areas where you played the music, where you could pull up YouTube videos. I didn't know if you did that for
I've
Christmas
never done
songs.
that.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have
Okay.
that technology, and the big thing that we don't have down there is a lot of times in the rain.
So you're outside.
We're outside.
Okay.
It's in the rain, and
we
what-
say that it's always in the rain.
You know what? We're going to just say it's going to be raining.
That's true.
Because it's raining.
And just plan for
And
it.
it's sometimes not just a little rain.
No.
Sometimes it's driven rain like this. And we have like a little tent covering.
Yes.
Tent covering. Can you mark that down? We got
Yep.
our
And
covering.
usually we use local music.
Ah.
Right.
Local.
Well, and during that time, the time that you're talking about is once we've had the tree lighting, then we go chlunk, chlunk. The kids at high school marching band starts marching in.
Oh, wow.
They lead Santa, and Santa's ho, 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 you know, and he's on the fire truck. And then they come to in front of City Hall, and then the band members, and the band has grown.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
they just,
Yeah.
they're marching in, and then they all line up, and they perform for everybody right there in the street. And they do usually about 2 or 3 numbers,
Mhm.
and then they lead Santa down the street to the waterfront down there, where Santa greets all the kids, and there's a photo op. And along the way, we have so many churches and groups, volunteer groups, and the downtown groups providing goodies. So we have hot chocolate and cider and chili and
Popcorn.
yeah.
The lyrics in this talks about it being cold and then cocoa, you know, having the cocoa or the rainy day, I believe is what I
Well,
remember.
you know, this maybe is something that could tie in with something, and we'll have to see it. So you can go online and see it on YouTube.
Yeah, if you put it in your phone, because I put it on my phone because I was impressed by it when I saw it, and I thought, wow, but I didn't know what technology you did or didn't have.
Yeah, I think they tried screens for a laser show
did.
one year, and
Didn't
again,
work.
in the rain and everything, it's the wet, and we don't actually have a space big enough for everybody inside. But where's the YouTube?
It's called, well, if you type in, and this is it,
Okay.
it looks like, come on, here we go, whoops.
I like
There's
the
some
lyrics.
links here.
Mhm.
As I said, and the
Yeah.
melody, it's right here. It is it. Oh, I have the reference to it down here.
Oh, okay, cool. All
was
right.
referenced.
Is this something you can leave?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can have that.
Okay.
But just a little, if you want to hear a little bit of the melody, if it matters, I don't know.
Go ahead. Just you can
Oh.
have it playing. And
Oops. I mean, it's just very, very cheery.
you never know where we could make use of this. And this year we have the pavilion open too.
Josephine.
Have you been in there yet?
Pardon?
It's nice. Have you been into the
Oh, yeah.
one thing yet? You can keep it playing. It's fine.
If you have a pavilion and you have a computer and way to
Yeah, but it's private.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
it
on.
used to be an event center.
Now
We don't
it's-
have a pavilion.
It's called Josephine. It's a retail store.
I wonder if Sheila can make use of this for the.
No, there's another YouTube video where it shows it has a bar of lights
They
and
go
then
through.
a little. It's
Oh.
just, I was just really impressed. This one is just. But the lyric, yeah, I was listening to I wanted to get the lyrics. I also wanted to know about the artist. But yeah, because I was hoping he was near. But
DC.
I know, right?
We
I know.
fly him in. Do we have a budget?
Does he have a relative over here that he wants to visit at Christmas time? You never know.
The thought was very nice.
And the
though.
thing is, we've never had rap.
That is true.
You never know where we can maybe work this in. We'll be looking for an opportunity.
Sure.
I think that would be very fun. But
Yep.
yeah, so you'll be able to see as we kind of go along. It's very dark, and people are just out and about wandering. And the big thing is there's a 5K run right about 1 o'clock in the afternoon is when it starts. And that is a fundraiser for arthritis. And that takes place right out here, gets started out here.
Mhm.
And you know, usually it's been about 1,200 people or so that are involved, don't you
Mhm.
think?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Some of them walk, some
Right.
run. They have both
And if it's a
ways.
nice day, you'll get a lot more people.
Sure,
It's true.
sure.
But a lot of people contribute, and it's a great fundraiser here.
Mhm.
And it's not unlike the Jingle Bell Run that takes place in Seattle. So we were pretty lucky to get it in our little
Ah.
town. Right. So, and people are all dressed up, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and I talked to Sheila and I said, hey, Christmas tree theme this year. So have everybody dress up like Christmas trees and stuff.
And they will.
Yes.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can tie all that in.
Yeah.
And Sheila plays music and stuff too. So And she has the big across the street thing. So let's make sure that we let her know about this, because that might be real fun, and that would tie in really well with the upbeat music that goes along with what she's using.
Right.
So none of this is for naught. We'll just keep,
Oh, I just wanted
yeah.
to contribute something.
Yes, no, but we, and we'll have to.
I think when we get closer to, there's so much to do, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
There'll
no,
be-
and I'll come every month or however often.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm sure something will come up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, but that's where we are for the time being. And also, Janine, remind
Yes.
me, we had some kind of thing come up with the new finance director or director, whatever we call him anymore, regarding the city being able to take donations or whatever.
That I'm not sure.
We better
I
look
can
into
check with
that,
him.
because something
Yeah.
changed.
Well, remember
Remember?
when the pet parade wanted to charge $5 or something?
Oh, well, we never were allowing
I know,
that.
we're not allowed that, but
Yeah.
what did we do? Call it a donation or something?
Well,
They could do.
They called it a donation, but that was never under, what happened is once the Humane Society and whoever was running it at the time decided to do that, a fundraiser in itself, then we could not put them in the flyer
the
and stuff.
brochure. I
Because
knew
that
there
was
was
only,
something.
everything needed to be free.
Right,
Right. So and they were they wanted to make it into a fundraiser. Now, that's all gone away because Woodside is sponsoring it.
right, and so
So,
they're not doing that, yeah.
We'll definitely have to have Woodside have a nice presence in there as well as cookies
Mhm,
for the sponsorship of that pet parade.
for sure.
But no single group is running that. That's not going to be Chamber. That's not going to be POPSA, right?
I don't,
So really, it's
I
a new
don't think
category
so.
under Chimes and Lights now.
right, I'll talk to Kathleen about that, but because she contacted a
Right.
lot of them, so let
Let's-
me find out.
Okay.
And I know the one before Chamber was involved.
Yes,
so
it
I'm not
was.
sure. I'm president of Chamber, you'd think I'd know what was going
Well,
on.
no, because we changed things a lot. But it used to be that Chambers sponsored that,
Yeah.
ran it like it was one of their events.
Right, so I'll find, Kathleen has the answer to that. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Good.
And I'll find out about the donations
Yes.
and accepting.
Something
Yeah.
changed. Remember that? Recently.
Was it with the biennial budget? I don't know if that would be part of it or if that's just separate. But I can check
It was
with Noah.
a line item on the agenda once, and you know what? I just don't remember. And how does that tie in with receiving funds from Kitsap Bank, etc.?
Okay,
Can we find that out? We don't want to do anything that's not cool. But these things
Understood.
change so fast, you can keep track.
They do, yes.
Oh,
And maybe Dragonfly will find us a Christmas tree movie.
how are they doing? Are they doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
good.
think so. Yeah. They're getting ready for their big.
The film festival.
Yeah, the film festival. So, and they're doing a wonderful thing or did over the weekend for Sue Baker, who has leukemia from the deli. And they had Steel Magnolia, and all the money went to her. And
Oh.
I did a big basket for them, and all that money will go to her. So that was nice of them. 3 days they did that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
She's home,
Is she?
and her immune system. She has leukemia in her bones. It's acute, horrible. Anyway, she's home, but she keeps going back to the hospital because she gets infections so easily. So, but they think they can save her. I mean, she was close to death, and
Such a battle. She
Yeah.
has a shop in the market downtown.
called Sue's Lavender and Deli.
Oh,
Cute
yeah.
little shop.
Yeah, they have
So-
smoothies and sandwiches and
Yeah,
it's
the
a
best Reuben sandwich you'll ever have in your life.
Really? I didn't
Very
know
good,
that.
very
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And then we have a new little restaurant across the street where Lolly Mays was.
And that's Win something or another?
Mhm.
Have you been there too?
I am not even there. Shame on me.
Well, and is it only open for lunch? Or what is it?
See, because I haven't eaten
You
there,
don't
I
know.
have no idea.
Yeah,
But I think it's more breakfast lunch is what I heard.
okay. This area is expanding. we're really happy. Yeah, it's been a while. Have you heard anything about the sale of Amy's?
She has not sold it yet, I know that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. But she said she had people interested,
Mhm.
so that's good.
Yeah, it is.
Amy's is the big restaurant on the bay. Amy's on by the bay,
Mm.
right in back of the antique mall there. She's been there a long time.
Mm.
Fantastic food.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very good.
food.
And it's right on the
Fish and
waterfront, especially in
Yeah.
the summertime because she opens
Oh,
up her
the
patio.
patio,
And you can
yes.
just look out on the boats going back and forth. It's very nice. It really works well. All right. Well, we've got a lot to do actually. We'll find out these things which will
Yep.
allow us to move forward. And so.
I'll actually take my tree and take it out there.
Okay.
And see, and plop it in and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I just can't remember how tall.
Yeah, and that's the
Find
same with
out
our
how-
tree. I just
yeah,
don't know how
find
tall
out
it is.
How tall it is.
Right. You know, I am sort of picturing, because the planters are this high, that you wouldn't have anything too squatty, that they would almost have to be 4 or 5 feet. And another thing would be is double checking. The trees we had down there before were deciduous trees. And so they are the usual trunk with the leaves up here. But if we have evergreens in there, is that a problem with sight distance for the traffic? We want
Yeah,
to make
we
sure that
need
there's
to-
no
yeah,
problem with all
yeah.
that. So,
Or, we wouldn't want to block everything. I mean, as people go down, if we had a tree in every one, you have to.
we'll have
look
to
at
just
that.
play with it.
Might be
Yeah.
every other one that'll be
Mhm.
better, or Public Works will know.
Yeah,
They'll
definitely.
tell us
Right.
if we're
Okay.
even allowed to do that.
Right. So the next meeting, everyone, is. Let's see.
So does Dragonfly pick their own movies to play, or do they take suggestions?
No, they'll take
How do they do that?
suggestions.
Okay, I just didn't know
Yeah.
how they determine what movie
Well,
or show they play.
It depends on how much it costs and
Oh.
if they can get it. A lot
Okay.
of
Right,
movies are
because
hard
they-
to get.
You know, it has to be a certain category of movie.
Right.
Because some of those movies are pricey.
Right.
Oh.
But
I was thinking maybe a Charlie Brown Christmas, just because I know at the end they have the tree. That's a big part of the movie. The little tiny tree that he puts as red. I have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree downstairs during Christmas at work. But with the tree at the end, and I was just thinking, tree wise, it fits in not till the end, but I think everybody kind of.
put it in the
knows
minutes.
that movie.
Jean,
Yeah.
put it in the minutes.
Right.
That we can check out, see what's available.
Yeah.
I'll see him Thursday at our
Okay.
meeting, so I'll just mention,
We
be
usually
ready.
do
Find
meetings
us.
the third Monday, so that would be May 21st.
21st. Oh, did you want to talk about the tent?
Oh, yeah.
The tent?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up
Oh,
again.
you're welcome.
So we determined we really need to get something. We were doing, okay, what did we have last year? It was 10 by 20? That covering?
I think
That
so.
sounds
I
And
don't
it was
remember.
a difficult thing to work with. Remember, it was too heavy and
Yeah.
sandbags and
Had
stuff.
trouble.
Jenny, can we get one priced? Let's try to get it priced. And see if we can find perhaps another pot of money within the city
Okay.
to share that with, the pricing of that. I don't recall what we came up with. Was it $500 or $600? That
Seemed
something
like
like
it
that
was
cost?
quite a bit,
Yeah.
actually.
It was a lot, but maybe we can share the expense with, I know it could be used for other functions.
Yeah.
We need to do that. I mean, people were standing it's really wet. And
It was
here they have
rough.
keyboards and things, that they
Yeah.
bring.
You know.
And they're trying to keep some of that dry. And the microphones, the equipment is very expensive. Now, that contract for sound is low enough that I think we can just choose from the roster.
Okay. For the MRSC roster.
Yes. But, we can take bids again. We usually have just 2. Usually we have a bid from the same person that Sheila uses for the Jingle Bell Run, which has actually been quite a bit more in the long run, not necessarily short run. So they'll give us a good deal the first year or so, but then charge more later. And we have had a problem in thinking that her sound system runs across the street like this, so runners can go through it, and it's wonderful because I mean that goes all over the place.
Wow.
But the need changes at night when we have everybody over here, and we need to focus it out in this direction. And I think there was a problem with takedown and some of that stuff, and again, rain in the dark.
I know. Oh God.
So we've usually ended up with, is it Sam? I'm saying the wrong name. Gus.
Gus.
It's Gus
Yeah.
from
Gordon Sound.
yeah, Gordon Sound. There we go. And he knows how to make it work. Everything's covered in plastic and stuff like that. He has a little tent. Now, last year we had to shift the stage because of the tree thing and everything. Because we had the Santa out here. We will not have the Santas, lit up Santa out here. So we want for sure to have the main stage facing the way we have in the past, which is straight out, not on that angle. Because people can't see or hear as well. And Gus had a real problem making that work too. Because then we had the pillar speakers. It's really kind of a nightmare, isn't it? Why do we do this?
Can only hope our weather is nice.
I think
That
we're
would-
due.
We are due
for
every
really good.
year.
Cold, but
Yeah, cold works.
But
It's just that
clear
rain. Yeah.
yes.
And it's really lovely, honest.
It's a lot of fun.
It's pretty.
We go every year.
It's very pretty. And it is really nice. I love hearing the choirs.
That is
You know?
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, these kids singing
Yeah,
and
they're
the,
great.
you know, every choir is so good. I can hardly believe the quality of music. They're out there singing their hearts out in the pouring rain. Bless them all. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And then the dance studio, having behind you look through the window and they're putting on their dance, and that is so cool too, isn't it?
It is cool.
Yeah, it really is. And now to have the pavilion opened up, which is Josephine's is like an antique place also.
Mhm.
I hope it's gonna work okay.
It seems like it is. It's different from what I have.
Oh, good.
A lot of
Kind of repurposed.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know, they've taken old things and made different things out of them. She has 13 vendors,
My
and then
goodness.
upstairs she has a big workroom. So she's going to give classes. And
Oh, wow.
I didn't
she
know
has
that.
a lot of, and she gave us the Bay Street a room for to store our things in, which was nice.
Wow.
So she's doing a lot. And her little cafe opened, and they were just lined up 10 deep to get in there.
fantastic.
So I'm hoping the food is really good.
Well, do you know what? Is it lunch and breakfast kind of
Yeah,
thing
I
too?
think it's lunch and
Lunch?
breakfast.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Wow.
in the back there, you know,
Yes.
where the little kitchen
Where
was.
Delilah had her area,
It
the
was
coffee
nice.
shop area. Yeah.
So I think they need more lights. That would be my only, it's big. It used to be a roller rink.
Oh,
skating
gosh,
rink.
yes.
Oh.
And then
I
it
remember
doesn't
that.
have any of the overhead, like mine, 150 overhead, which is way too expensive to have. But she has not very many, just spotlights.
I see.
It's
So it feels a little dark.
to me,
Oh.
but
So the individual vendors are going to have.
something in their booths.
But does each booth have electricity?
There's a lot of electricity
Okay.
in there. I don't know how much.
Uh-huh.
That would be my only comment.
Right.
Other than that, it's great.
It is a huge, I mean,
It
that's
is
a nice
very
area. We were sad when we lost it.
I know, because it made a nice area to have events.
Like you
in.
say, you know, for events, and
Mhm.
the city had a lot of events down there. A lot of clubs and organizations had fundraisers. It was wonderful to have that
It was.
facility.
I know. Well,
Yeah. It's what it
another
is.
time, another building.
Right.
Somewhere.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the meeting.
I will talk to Sheila.
Oh, it was just
It's a very neat idea.
Yeah.
We don't
I
have any
think
rap
you're
music
right.
here.
Sheila might be able to use
I
it
know.
on her
I don't know that it's
loudspeakers.
really, excuse me, sorry, really rap as you heard the melody. There's just that little ho ho ho.
It's neat.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
It is.
Very fun.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
catchy.
And the words mean something
Mhm.
Yes.
to community.
Yes.
Yes.
And Christmas and what the real meaning
Yes.
is.
Yes.
So I was impressed with it.
I love that. I really do.
And the one video with all the lights and it goes with the music, it's just
Well, you,
awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, you never know where something like this could be set up and going on or whatever. So, and it's good to get it this early to be
Mhm.
thinking about it.
Mhm.
But I'll share it with Sheila and Kathleen.
Good
Kathleen
idea.
is a librarian, and she has things like ongoing music, and she does a lot of organizing with the musical groups. And then Sheila, I don't know. I don't think you met Sheila. Was at the
She
last
is not
meeting.
here.
She was not here. Yeah.
No.
correct.
Sheila organizes that whole Jingle
Sharon
Bell.
King was here. I
Yeah,
think.
Sharon,
yeah.
right. But these two do a lot in the community. They're very visible, and you'll be meeting them because, especially when we get going with some of their areas of interest, they'll be coming to the
Right.
meetings, so you'll get to know them too. So we'll have to haul you to like a Rotary meeting or 3 or a meeting or something, and get
Yeah.
you plugged in some more.
Yeah, you're